Today we're going to finish marking the score, and then we're going to start using these markings to memorize the harmonic moves in the song. Now that we have all the 2/5s and 5/1s marked in the score, we're going to look for the next most often used cadence in jazz, the backdoor progression. So a backdoor progression is a flat 7/7 to a 1 chord. And a complete backdoor progression is a 4 minor 7 to flat 7/7 to a 1 major 7. The key of B flat major, the flat 7/7, is A flat 7. So A flat 7 to B flat major 7 is a backdoor progression. Notice that in a backdoor progression, the bass moves up by way of a whole step. So let's find the dominant chords that resolve up by way of a whole step to a major 7 or a major 6 chord. So here's A flat 7 sharp 11 to B flat major 7. That's a backdoor progression. And we're going to draw a step arrow, indicating this is a dominant chord that resolves a whole step up like this. Here's another one, E flat 7 to F major 7, another backdoor progression. And also in measure 21, we have another A flat 7 to B flat major 7. On our last video, we marked all the 2/5s with the bracket, and now we've marked the backdoor progressions with the step arrow. But look at measure 12. We have a bracket followed by a step arrow. This is a complete backdoor progression. A 4 minor 7 to flat 7/7 to 1 major 7. Since F major 7 is our target, B flat minor 7 would be the 4 minor 7, and E flat 7 is the flat 7/7. This is a complete backdoor progression that targets F major 7. A complete backdoor progression is always a bracket followed by a step arrow. So your next assignment is to play a bracket step arrow in all keys. Remember, this is a 2/5 that resolves a whole step up to a major chord. By the way, all these assignments that I'm giving you are essential because you're learning the harmonic building blocks of any jazz standard. And you can practice these 12-key workouts daily to keep your harmonic chops fresh and easy to access every time that you play. Now in measure 8, we have a step arrow, but it's not preceded by a bracket because the previous chord is not a minor 7 chord. It's an E flat major 7. But the roots of these two chords are still moving by way of a perfect fifth down from E flat major 7 to A flat 7. Instead of a 4 minor 7 to flat 7/7, we have a 4 major 7 to flat 7/7. This is almost like a complete backdoor progression, except the 4 chord was kept as a major 7 chord. This move of a perfect fifth down from a major 7 chord is also very common in jazz. So we're going to mark it as a circled arrow like this. Of course, if you have Mapping Tonal Harmony Pro, you can just load Stella and you'll see all these brackets and arrows marked in the score for you. This is a great feature because once you understand what these symbols mean, you can just play from there. All right, so now in measures 1 through 8, we have all these chords connected by arrows and brackets of some kind. And it should make this progression really easy to play in any key. And that's what we're going to do next. Now, when I'm learning a song using this method, I take a few mental notes of certain things to remember that might be missing in the brackets and arrows analysis. On our previous videos, we looked at the first 2 notes in the melody and memorized them as the 1 to the 7th of the key. So in B flat major, we have to play B flat to A. And we also memorized the first chord in the progression as a sharp 4 minor 7 flat 5 chord that's a tritone away from our key. So in B flat major, that was an E minor 7 flat 5. And we also paid attention to how this A sounded on top of the E minor 7 flat 5 because it's the 11th of our minor 7 flat 5 chord. And now we know the next chord is the related 5, A7, because we have a bracket. So Stella starts with a 2/5 in minor, E minor 7 flat 5 to A7. Now the next chord is a C minor 7, but we don't have any connector that will help us get to it from the previous A7 chord. So I take a mental note and I remember that this is the 2 minor chord of the key. C minor 7 is the 2 minor 7 in the key of B flat major. And I also like to take note of the melody note. This F here, the F is the 11th of C minor 7, another 11th in the melody. So Stella uses the 11th of the chord again. Now I just memorize the arrows and brackets until I get to measure 9. So I have to play a 2-5, and the 5 turns into minor, which becomes the new related 2 of a 2-5-1, which then resolves down a perfect fifth to a backdoor progression. C minor to F7 turns into F minor 7, B flat 7 to E flat major 7. And it keeps moving around the circle of fifths to A flat 7 sharp 11, which then resolves up a whole step to B flat major 7 in a backdoor progression. Let's do it again step by step, but this time from the beginning of the song. Here's how I want you to think about it. I'm in the key of B flat, and the melody is a 1 to a 7, B flat to A. My first chord is a minor 7 flat 5, a tritone away, E minor 7 flat 5. And I'm listening to the A on top of the E minor 7 flat 5. This is the 11th. Pay attention to how it sounds on top of the minor 7 flat 5 chord. Then I have a 2-5, so E minor 7 flat 5 to A7. And next, I have to go to the 2 minor 7 of the key of B flat major, C minor 7. And my melody is also the 11th of that chord, so it's an F. Again, listen to how it sounds against that C minor 7 chord. And now I have a 2-5, C minor 7 to F7. The 5, that F7 turns minor and becomes part of a 2-5-1 progression. F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major 7. And then I keep following the circle of fifths all the way to a backdoor progression of A flat 7 sharp 11 to B flat major 7. I mean, when I have to describe what I'm thinking, it takes quite some time. But if you're just playing, it takes a millisecond to process these moves. 2 more things I'd like to look at. What's the melody on this F minor 7? It's a G, and that's the 9th. And on the E flat major 7, it's the 5th. All right, so let's take this perspective and try to change keys. Let's go to the key of F major. So I'm in the key of F major. The melody is a 1 to 7, F to E. And my first chord is a minor 7 flat 5, that's a tritone away from our key, B minor 7 flat 5. And of course, I'm listening to the E on top of this chord, always paying attention to how this 11th sounds on top of my minor 7 flat 5 chords. Now I have a 2-5, so B minor 7 flat 5 to E7. And next I have to go to the 2 minor 7 of our new key, F major, so that's G minor 7. And my melody note again is the 11th of that chord, so that's a C. And now I have a 2-5, G minor 7 to C7. That 5 chord, the C7, turns minor and becomes part of a 2-5-1 progression, C minor 7 to F7 to B flat major 7. On the C minor 7, I play the 9th D, and on the B flat major 7, the 5th F. And then at the end, I just keep following the circle of fifths to a backdoor progression, E flat 7 sharp 11 to F major 7. So practice playing the first 8 measures of Stella thinking like this. Do it in as many keys as you can. If it's only B flat and F, that's fine. The important thing is that you start thinking about the song using this approach. And by the way, eventually, you won't have to think about any of this. You'll just play the song. And I think that's really important. Understand that this is a method to memorize the song. Once you've memorized it, you'll just know how to play it. But to get there, you have to start here. All of our members will receive a PDF with today's lesson, and the PDF links to this video for future reference. If you're not a member yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click on the join button right here on YouTube to become one. You can also visit mdex.com to learn more about mapping Tonal Harmony Pro. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next video.